wait for the economy to get better and then put those tax dollars, that 30 penny sales tax, to work. So when we saw you shut those doors, we didn't think it was going to be permanent. We certainly didn't think it was going to come to bulldozing. So we're saying we've got money out there. When you say we don't have it, there's money there. We're just hoping there's a more creative solution than bulldozing. And also, when we heard that there's $16 million and you're only allocating 3.6 for particular parks, we're wondering, okay, are you all familiar with that? It's in your own budget line item. It talks about park and recreations being allocated $3.6 million.
You said 16 million.
Okay, actually I did say 16 million. Of that 16 million, you've allocated 3.6 for parks. But all of that money, though, as we're reading, we're wondering what happens with the other 13, because it's our understanding that too could be used for parks.
Well, that was just a suggestion from the consultant on what it would take to bring the parks up to where they need to be. So that isn't that we have money in hand. And again, you know, there's a huge difference in our operating budget and our other budget. The other budget money.
Okay, we're probably going to differ on that, because I think we're going to differ on a number of things when it comes to money. We won't get it straight tonight, but I'm saying these are questions that we have. We'd like to try to resolve, and we don't think it's the other thing also, model cities built Ben Franklin and Ben Hill and BC Franklin. We know that, right? Federal funds. And we've got documentation from urban planners here in Tulsa of 2009 that say there's a possibility if a facility is, say, once you reach the 50-year point, it could qualify to be on the park registry. And as you talk about destroying something that's very near and dear to us in terms of our history, what better parks than Ben Hill and BC Franklin? Why wouldn't those two parks be preserved, not demolished, so that we too can get on that national registry? We're going to get additional funding if it gets on the park registry, and I know, Ms. Goldman, that has been a goal of yours. That's what I read. Was that correct? That is a goal of yours?
Get the parks on the registry?
Yes.
Historical? I'm not sure. I don't remember. I mean, I don't feel like I have said that I wanted those parks to be on the historical registry. What I would say is we would like to preserve the history. That is important, and I would agree with that.
Just so I'm clear, I know you didn't say you wanted those two parks on the registry. Generally speaking, for all of your parks, for all of the parks, there was a concern that was expressed, and maybe you didn't say it, maybe the paper was wrong, but it was in the Tulsa World, in terms of goals of the park, Tulsa Parks, in terms of a registry and getting parks on that registry, because, is that correct?
I think it's accreditation.
Accreditation.
And accreditation would be a quality park system where you would have, you know, maintenance and everything would be detailed out. So, and there's a difference between, you know, accreditation is a quality of a park system.
Okay.
Can you wrap it up, please?
Yes, I will.
I got a long line behind
Yes, sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
Less than 30 minutes to get it done.
Okay. The other question also was, we looked at that you've got porta potty that costs $20,000. I'm a little concerned that these items are overpriced and this community is underserved. Then you have a shelter that costs $95,000. The porta potty alone costs more than some of the houses on North Tulsa. So I'm a little concerned that this stuff is overpriced. And I might ask that the parks be a little bit more, you know, that I don't know if the money's being handled right when you're taking bids and putting up shelters for $95,000.
Well, that would be the park standard, and it's the same in every park location.
Good evening, my name is Daryl Knox. And the first question is, I've heard the master plan referred to, or that was in the master's plan. How far back does the master plan date?
2010.
2010. So since 2010, it was already in the plan to demolish it. Is that correct? Am I understanding that right, Lucy?
I'm not sure I could say that it was in the plan to demolish. It said if we can't handle it and make it a safe, quality park experience, then yes, demolishing the site might be an option.
And then I've heard it said, or stated that, you know, it's been empty for 10 years. That is not the case. Those facilities, and two of those facilities have not been empty. Well, actually, all three that we're speaking of tonight have not been empty since 10 years. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, it has not been operated by a City of Tulsa staff person.
Okay, but would we agree, Lucy, or to the other distinguished gentleman on the panel here, if the city isn't operating it, or it can be operated in a safe and effective manner, wouldn't that be a viable option than demolition?
We still have ADA and code issues to deal with. And if you drive by some of those locations, you'll see the paint peeling, you'll see that we're really adding to the life of the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. Now, would the city, if I could, from the response from the mayor's office, would the city be open, or is it an option that maybe a private entity or organizations could take those over, therefore is not a strain on the city's budget or the park's budget?
You know, if that could happen, that'd be a possibility. I think that the city, before I got with the city, went down that road and had other organizations and nonprofits use the facilities, and you know, as far as I know, that wasn't totally successful.
On South Tulsa it is.
I do realize
and those
that.
buildings have been there, and people haven't come to us seeking them for use.
Would you be open to that? Or would the city, or
Well,
would the mayor?
I think what I'd say is that the city's tried that and it wasn't successful.
We do have a request for proposal out currently on Owen Park.
Okay, let me say this. What he had just said was that they do have a proposal, and it's on your desk, it came to my desk, and not only this group, but several people have asked to take over those parks. That's down right now. They're saying that several people have asked to take over all three of those parks.
And I think, you know, we would be interested in talking about it, but when you see the when you see the amount that it would cost to bring them up to code, $2 million sounds like a lot.
Not the master plan.
Shame on the city of Tulsa for sending functionaries out if they already haven't decided the outcome of what they're going to do. Is this supposed to be a democracy or a dictatorship? Second off, I'd like to remind the dignitaries assembled here that the government functions only on the consent of the people. And it doesn't really seem, hearing the voices in this room, that the people consent. Now, I just wanted to say to everybody here in this room, Occupied Tulsa loves parks. All right. For 2 weeks and they had a hard time. But I'm just going to say that we support this effort to keep the facilities open. And we will stand in front of